To start, make a note to start. So yes, I have my notes. The kind of surface design we are doing today is close design. So usually there are a lot of ties. There are so many ties. There are so many ways to work on this. But today we are concentrating on the very close kind, where you have the spaces in between the beads vertically are very short and horizontally are also very small. You can hardly notice them. Yes, so that's what we are working on today. So you just pick one. It's one by one, and yes, I know you are saying A. Yes, you have to do it little by little, step by step. So we just put on our first bead. These beads are called bicons. Yes, bicons. You can use crystals, normal crystals, and you can use these ones too. But these ones are usually a lot brighter. They are usually a lot brighter. So when you use them, it makes the outfit beautiful. I hope you are following. So this is 3. We fixed only 3. And we are supposed to cover this whole space, this whole golden space with this beautiful crystals. We are covering the whole golden space with it. Yes, you're asking it will take a long time. Yes, of course, it will take a very long time for you to finish. Especially for beginners like you. You will need take your time to get this done. You need to really take your time because it's arrangements. You're arranging them vertically, so you really need to take your time. And yes, when I deliberately use this color of lining. This is a satin lining. I used this cream satin lining because I wanted to teach you something here. Have you noticed that even though I'm sewing on the front of the fabric, you don't see anything here? Nothing shows I'm sewing. Nothing shows. And that is what makes your work very beautiful. There are people who do these things and then you find the fishing line showing all over the back of the fabric of the dress. It's not supposed to be like that. You need to make sure it doesn't show over here. So when you pick up the crystal, you just use it on the surface. You don't go in deep with the needle. You don't go in deep with the needle. You do it and you have a very neat work. So you are going to continue with this to the end and return and return and return till you fill the whole surface. So I'm going to pause right here. I'll be back when I'm taking the turn. First that. All right, so this is basically the last bead we are picking for this very line, and then we can begin our next line. Okay, so I need to take a turn over here. You see how I did it? You just put your needle right back into the fabric and then you move on. As I said early on, this is a very close kind of beading, so you need to make sure that the spaces horizontally and vertically are very, very tiny. They shouldn't be visible. They shouldn't be visible. To some extent, even what I have done is a bit visible, but to achieve some kind of results, it doesn't have to be visible at all. Yes, this takes days to finish. This takes days to finish. You don't have to rush it. You need to take your time. Someone is asking how to get it all in a line. So there are several ways of doing that. The best way is to use your eye. You can just use your eye to gauge the distance. You can use your eye to gauge the bead on a straight line. You can use your eye. Of course, you can mark with a chalk, but if you mark with a chalk and you are done, you are going to be left with the marks of chalk on the surface, and that doesn't bring out a neat work. But if you can have access to the invisible chalk, the chalk where you can use common water to clean after the beading, then that is also fine. I have that kind of chalk, but personally I prefer using my eye because I don't want to finish and now be going through the process of trying to clean chalk marks. You understand? Yeah. So this is it. This is basically how you do the close beading. I'm going to pause right here and we would show you the final outcome doing this with some other ladies. So we'll do this together and we'll show you the final outcome. Okay, so we are on it. Can you see how beautiful it's becoming? As I mentioned earlier, I'm doing this with 2 other people, so we have 2 different parts. We'll continue with the whole thing and then we'll finish it off and then you will see the final work soon. So stay tuned, stay tuned. All right, so we're moving forward with our design. If you followed closely from the beginning of the video, I mentioned that we are going to embellish this part. So here we are with the embellisher, and it's also another way of another design of surface ornamentation. This is not just to hide this joint, but you can actually do this in front of the main fabric. Like you can put this design I'm teaching, you can do it here. Instead of doing this, you can do what I'm about to do here, there. All right, so please pay attention, and let's go. So this part, we are using this beautiful sequence. It's a golden sequence, very bright, and that's the idea, to have something look very different in this. And then we still have this crystals, the same color with the bicorns we use for this part. Yes, and I think we have a few silver bicorns. I'm not too sure I'll use them, but let's see how it goes. Great. So you pick your crystal, you pick your sequence. Any zoom again. Yeah. Continue when you pick one crystal, you pick your sequence. But this is also based on how you want it to look like. How you want it to look like. When you become a master, when you become a pro, you would be able to determine how you want it to look like at every given point. But I want something funky. I don't want something organized. So I'll do another one just around here because I don't want it to be organized. I want it to look funky. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea for this part. Yeah, and I hope it comes out just the way I want it. Yeah. Oh my god, I like how it looks. I like how it looks. I like how it looks. Zoom. I like how it looks. I like how it looks. So we're moving forward, and always make sure your fishing line is hidden. Don't let your fishing line show, so that your work will look neat. Yeah. So one crystal, one sequence. But this is based on your preference, as I mentioned earlier. Just do what you think will work best for your design. This is what I think will work best for mine, so that's what I'm doing. So you can continue with this till the end. You can continue with this till the end. Yeah, and I like this. So yeah, that's it for this one.